Now, I think in terms of plot 23, the winner was Oliver Chapman Architects, but I don't think they're able to be with us this evening. I think that's the case. Anyway, our congratulations to them. Well done.
Well, it started off on a different part of the site, and we were then moved to this part of the site, and we changed the design quite a bit. And we thought that this site, it had to be a house behind another house. We've got one house which just touches against the street, and a house behind it. And we thought, well, let's design a house more for rural Scotland, more for the Highlands than for the suburbs of Inverness. And so we felt, what are the basics? Let's get the basics right. The basics would be bedrooms and kitchens on one side, living room on the other. Most people want that in their homes, so that they can have the sun in the morning when they wake up, and they can have the sun in the evening when they come home after a day's work. And we found that an L shape in plan, if you look at it in plan, it forms a capital L, then is interesting because you get a variety of ways you can look at. If you put two L's together and make them interlock, you get a nice little courtyard in the middle, which is great for entering the house from, because it keeps the prevailing winds blowing in through your front door. Well, we use a lot of wood. In fact, apart from the plasterboard, the whole house is built of wood. It's timber frame. We use hemp insulation between the studs. We use a wood fibre board on the outside, and then we use cedar shingles right on the outside. We set a standard that we want to get the envelope well insulated and save energy, and so we set a standard that the walls must achieve 25% better, 25% better retaining heat energy than the building regulations, and we set the standard was 42% for the roof. All buildings, a lot of them around the site will have what we call like a rain screen cladding, and you need to ventilate behind that rain screen cladding. I mean, you'll see others where the same material on the roof is used on the wall. Only a few materials suit that, but certainly shingles is a material that's been doing that for many decades. Well, we certainly wanted the main space to be the living room, so there's a little bit of a hierarchy there. The toilets and bathrooms are obviously secondary, and we wanted you to enjoy the whole volume of the living room. So it opens up to the ceiling in the living room, and we wanted to be a bit more exciting than that. We wanted it to feel dynamic inside, and so you'll see how there's an unusual relationship between the ridge of the building and the walls. The ridge is the thing that is twisted slightly in plan. It is in a straight alignment with the perimeter walls, which makes you feel that there's this continual turning, sort of spiralling motion of the form, which I think makes it a suitable thing for particularly interesting in an isolated rural setting. It'll mellow, the colour will mellow, and yeah, it'll look grand. Our first principle is to get the building right before we start adding on any gadgets. In fact, the first principle is to get the orientation right before you even get the building right. And then, expecting there to be some need for energy, we have air source heat pumps. We looked at the site to see if there's enough land to put ground source on, but there wasn't. So we've got a very efficient air source heat pump in there. There's new regulations in Scotland coming in October that will require buildings to be more airtight. Buildings will have to control the way they are ventilated, so that we don't lose loads of heat through holes in the walls. So we have a whole layer inside the envelope called the services zone, which means we don't have to puncture the wall every time you put a electricity socket in it, or an extract fan, which is where loads of buildings lose a lot of heat. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, no, it's very exciting, and there's lots of ideas here that we can use and we can repeat in the future.